Hey y'all. Hey beautiful people. So I keep looking down because I got notes. But being human and tending to your humanness is way better, way more important than being spiritual anytime. And I think it's very important to talk about. A lot of people need to talk about this more. Your mental health, the very basic needs, mind, your body, right? Before trying to get so into like the spiritual realms all the time. Because, what we call spirituality nowadays, I guess you can say that I've been into those types of things since forever, since I was a kid, right? But I more deeply pursue like certain parts of spirituality to tend to my mental health things, emotional health things, instead of like doing the actual work as a human in this body here on earth that I need to do, because it's a mind, body, and spirit connection, right? We can't just have spirit and then just forget about our mind, just forget about our bodies, right? So I remember when I got deep, real close to like spirit, divine, great mother, father, God, creator, universe, any word that you want to choose for like source, right? So let's just say source. I got so deeply into it out of a need for comfort, out of a need to feel like a deep love and to feel safe. I needed to feel safe. I didn't really feel just safe in my body. I remember always disassociating and not thinking that it was called disassociating until I learned the word disassociation. I just thought that was just how everybody felt, anxious, disassociated in their body. But so I got deep into, spirituality to comfort me. And while spirit did comfort me, taught me so many things, was with me, giving me messages, clear, instruction, direction, love. Like I've never felt so safe, so seen with this type of connection that I built with spirit. Over time I was like, I'm doing all the work, but why does something still feel missing? And like source basically directed me to the body, directed me to, being human, like tending to my very human self instead of being all up in the realms, all up in the spirituality, like all the time, because it was just, I just never felt safe in my body. And it was because of emotional, trauma and just things that I had to tend to, like on a very physical, earthly realm level. But I felt like I should go straight to like the higher realms instead of coming down here. But again, why would I do that if I never felt safe down here? I never felt safe in my body. So I did what, a lot of people I think do is, they're looking to heal some things. They're looking to feel like certain voids, and, some things spirituality can't do. But, there's nothing that God can do, of course, right? Spirit, there's nothing that source spirit can do, of course. But I know you've heard the, I think, famous popular Bible verse, like faith without works is dead. Like you can't have the spiritual without doing the actual physical thing, right? Okay. So yeah, let me look at my notes real quick. Yeah, I was just trying to feel better, trying to heal wounds, and I thought I was doing the right thing. Like I didn't think anything was wrong with that, you know what I'm saying? But that action part, that being in my body part. And what I needed was to sit with myself, was to get in my body, was to get into therapy, counseling, to have somebody help me point out and bring up those things deep inside of me that, you know, I needed to tend to, that would actually help my physical body feel safe here on earth, right? Because I needed that body connection. I needed to heal mental health things and, like, you know, wounds like that. So sorry for that noise. You know, and one thing, I don't know if other people feel this way too, but I know I felt this way. Spirituality, especially the way that it's taught, that it has been taught, is that it's very like otherworldly, magical, like pretty, cute, rainbows, flowers, sunshiny, sparkly. It seems very like shiny, right? So a lot of us want to like reach for like shininess, want to reach for like all that glittery, ooh, stuff. You know, I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but you can't just have that. And so I just want to let somebody know, you know, what I needed to know. Your body is sacred too. You know, your mind is sacred and magical and beautiful too. Like, it's so sacred. It's so very spiritual, just as itself, just by being this body. You know, and your mind and your body deserve care. They deserve so much care and so much attention and so much tending to. And, you know, before you do all these spiritual things, you know, for the lack of words, because that's what we use nowadays, like being spiritual, I'm spiritual, or I'm into spirituality. But so you know what I mean when I say that. Before we start getting into those things, y'all, it's important to tend to your mental health, your very physical things here on earth, here, feet on the ground, 10 toes down on earth, here, senses, touch, sight, taste, all that. We need to tend to this first before anything, because, you know, and for some of the things that I was going through, like not feeling safe in my body, for example, that's the first step of life, you know, that root chakra energy, right? That the first chakra, you know, feeling safe, that's first. And if you don't feel that, then, you know, where's your foundation? You know, you're not going to build a house without a foundation, because if you build a house and just start putting railings and blinds and the roof on and maybe some walls and, you know, the cement, whatever they do, but you don't have a solid foundation, anything can knock that house over. Anything can just come and knock it down, split second, boom. And then you don't have anything to build up on. You're just out in the wind, letting everything take you like a rag doll from here and there and everywhere. You're just very, you know, even more like disassociated, right? You're even more, you know, going back to like the physical body, you're even more feeling unsafe, because now it's like, oh my God, I don't have anything. It can kind of drive you into like panic mode, right? But if you have that foundation, like for like a house, right? Very solid foundation, very solid floors, grounding, root work before any of the cosmetics, before any of the extra stuff, that the extra add-ons, you know, are there. That foundation, if you have that first, everything can be knocked down. Everything can be knocked down, but you'll still have that foundation, you see, right? You'll still feel like, oh, okay, I'm solid, I'm safe, I can do something with this. Like, I'm still here. I'm not floating all in the wind and all. I'm here. I'm solid. I'm on the ground. And if one thing I know is that I'm secure, I'm safe, and I can build again. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important to tend to your very human self. If your thing is therapy, which I highly recommend, and choose your therapist wisely, whatever field of therapy you like, whatever's best for you, but just somebody that can help you with pinpointing like deep wounds or deep things that make you feel like certain things, like in your body or in your mind. They can help you, of course, self-help books and other things. If you're into prayer, that works, but again, very practical things. Maybe talking to your counselor, whatever teacher, or learning, and they can help you learn like practical, actual, practical, tangible, physical steps to heal certain things and to acknowledge and recognize certain things. Because the first thing is acknowledging it. The first thing is being able to pinpoint some things that are hidden and that are affecting your life in a not so good way. But if you can recognize it and point it out first, that's the first step. That's a lot in itself, right? But it's very important to go here first, to come here on the ground. Take care of your very physical body. A lot of the trauma and the pain that we've gone through that has caused like feelings of disassociation or not being secure or not feeling worthy or safe or anything like that comes from, trauma. Comes from very physical human experiences that we've had in the past. So think about it. If a lot of the trauma and wounds and things like that came from very physical human experiences in the past that usually have to do with other humans, our physical environments, then it would take very down to earth physical tending to our human. It would take those types of things to help repair that, right? So it's a mind, body, and spirit thing. It's not just spirit thing. So what I recommend, even though it's very shiny, right? It's very beautiful. Getting tapped into your spirituality, getting tapped into, spirit, or however you want to claim it. It's very important to tend to your body first. It's very sacred, very magical, very spiritual as well. Body, okay? You deserve that. And for something like not feeling safe in your body, for example, not being here in your body, and that comes with being grounded too. And I'm going to make a video about grounding and groundedness. But when it comes to that, going on a deeper level, if you're getting into like spirituality, you open yourself up to not so good energies if you're not in your body, right? Because if you're not in your body, then that means anything can get in your body, right? And you might not recognize that right off, but sometimes that happens, and it'll easily happen if you're not in your body or not aware of your body, right? And I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from real life, which is why it's so important for me to talk about this now. It's so important for me to share with somebody and hope that you hear this, and just somebody that needs this, right? But tend to your physical body, your mental health first, right? You're not about to eat donuts and candy and pop soda every single day, 3 times a day for the rest of your life, no water, and then just be totally zen and doing all the chanting and spirituality and being tapped in, real tapped in too, real tapped into spirit, right? You're not about to be eating like that and then being tapped into spirit, right? Because you're still not going to feel good. You still not going to feel right. You're just not going to feel good, right? So it's a mind, body, and soul thing. You got to take care of your mind, right? If you're thinking negative all the time, thinking you so whatever, unworthy, you're so ugly, life is just horrible, but like you're tapped in the spirit. That don't even make sense. It's a mind, body, and soul thing, right? Look at my notes again. But yeah, your health is so, sorry for the voices in the background. I'm outside, obviously. Wait, I'm in the car. But your health is so important. Mental, physical, emotional health, also important. This car about to start in front of me, so it might make a loud noise. Yeah, I told you. Okay. Now, tending to your body and mental health and things like that, that doesn't mean you can't be spiritual. You can still be spiritual. You can still have a good meditation life or prayer life or journal and talk to your ancestors, your spirit team, your spirit guides, deities that you work with, even God, source. You can still do that. Of course, it's not a this or that thing. It's like a harmony thing. It's all things. This is really about not forgetting to tend to your mental health. But if you do anything, if you have to pick one, which you don't have to pick one, it's about harmony. It's about balance. It's about all. If you had to choose the human, the physical, tending to your physical body, tending to your mind, tending to your mental health, your physical health is the most important. Way more than anything out in the realms. Here on earth is your first line of protection, of safety, of care, of love, taking care of what you're given now. This body, this mind, right? Okay, your mental health is way more important than spirituality, okay? Tend to that first or at the same time, you know? And the last thing I'm gonna say, wrap this up, the pedestal that a lot of us put spirituality on, which I did, I did, okay? Put it on a pedestal. That's the same pedestal that your mental health and your physical health should be on, right? The care and the nurture and the love that you give yourself. Put that on the same pedestal, right? Put that up there because you're sacred too. You're magical too. God made you. God, spirit, universe, insert your word here. Okay, made this magical body from itself. I mean, I won't get into all the beliefs and stuff, you know, unless y'all want to hear it later. But yeah, you're very important. You're very magical, and it's so important to tend to your mental health before any spirituality. Okay? Remember what I told you, okay? Don't say I ain't told you that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if you like this video, comment what you think. If you feel led to make a comment, give a little like, share, subscribe. And I'll probably be making more videos about this. So thank y'all for listening. I love y'all. And y'all have a great rest of the day. All right.